I am a lifelong resident of Washingtonville. I pretty much still live in the same house I grew up in.
We knew everyone. My neighbors have been my same neighbors. I am 57 years old. I have not ever had a new neighbor.
You went to your house, their house. It was just one big family.
I didn't actually grow up in Washingtonville. A lot of my family did.
I grew up on Center Street, which is 2 blocks over, where my dad and my mom lived for years.
I remember in the early 70s, when I was at Mamaroneck Avenue School, I remember my dad coming to pick me up from school. He was in waist-deep water, and he would carry me on his shoulders to carry me back home.
So they decided to take us home by fire truck. And then when they got to Mamaroneck Avenue and New Street, they took us from fire truck to a boat. And the boat took us to our front porches.
Flooding wasn't as horrendous as it is at present. If we received a trickle of water in the basement, that was a lot. The floodwaters increased each year by feet, 2 feet, 3 feet, 5 feet, ending in Ida with people 14 to 17 feet of water in their homes. The flooding isn't clean flooding. The flooding is debris. The flooding is bacteria. The flooding is feces. The flooding is garbage, oil, containers.
We had factories in the neighborhood. Were they doing the right thing? We have no idea. Were there contaminants? Maybe, probably.
You could walk on the water in some areas. There was so much debris in the water. Everything comes down from Fenimore Road and from Waverly Avenue and from Nourishell. Everything, it's funneled to our streets, to right here. And we become a cesspool. That's what we become.
The day after was it Irene or Ida? I got diagnosed that day.
So I was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 2019. And I'm like, okay, a lot of people get breast cancer. But then in 2021, when I got thyroid cancer, I became a little suspicious because my neighbor across the street was diagnosed with thyroid cancer the year before. And then right after my diagnosis, my neighbor right next to me got diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and we have other neighbors that are nearby that have thyroid issues as well.
On my street alone, besides myself, I have lymphoma. My brother died of pancreatic cancer 2 years ago. He was my partner, worked with me every single day on Northrop Avenue.
I was next door at my neighbor, Rita, who was just diagnosed with thyroid cancer. I went into the house and I looked at my neck and I saw a lump. And within 6 weeks, I was scheduled for surgery.
My neighbor who owns the steel fabrication shop, he was diagnosed within 2 months of the same thing that I had. Something is causing this, something's killing people.
Cancer is scary. I don't care which cancer it is, just the word alone. Thank God Rita, the surgery was good, and Laura, thank God for that, But unfortunately, there's a lot of history in this little village that people weren't so lucky.
We have a cancer cluster. We have a database now over 55 people that have 21 types of different cancer. That's my research. My mission is to find out where the source is.
The first thing we did is we went to our local municipality, our board of trustees. We explained to them, our fear and frustration and what was going on. So it's frustrating because we want to get this done now and get some results.
We want validation. We want the source to be targeted, recognized, and we want Mamaroneck restored. We want it cleaned. We want it urgently recognized. But our village is kicking the can down the road, and nobody's taking any responsibility.
So we're doing this by ourselves, which is fine, we'll get it done, but they should have a resolution in place so every time it floods, the county comes out or the village of Mamaroneck comes out and tests the air, the water sample, what's in the soil, what's on the streets, what's in the yards, and that should be their responsibility. Is they got to keep the quality of life here, at 150%. That's what they're supposed to do, and they're not doing that.